This is how I lost weight and transformed my body without dieting. So if you are struggling because you've done all the diets, you've obsessively exercised, you feel like you've counted every step, you've even gone to therapy and you're not seeing results with your body, with your weight, then there is a very key missing component to your strategy to get you the results you want. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. Before we dive into too much, I'm going to share these very clear photos with you. So right here is a photo of me obsessively dieting, exercising, counting every step, making it my everyday job to just lose weight. This is what my body looked like. And after focusing on these three things that I'm going to teach you today, this is the transformation that happened to my body. So I'm excited to dive into these three specific things with you right now. Exciting news is that I've actually put this into a free hour-long masterclass for you. So the 3 keys to actually transform your relationship with your body, weight, and food for good. So you can get that full hour-long class and go through that in detail in the link in the description, which is going to be a life-changing thing for you. Number 1, I changed my focus from fixating on the outside to healing my nervous system. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why this is the single most important thing that you can focus on in having your dream relationship with your body and your weight. We all think that we need more willpower, we need to focus more on our diet and exercise and all of those external things, but you've done that and you're still left wondering, why am I stuck? It's because you haven't focused on your nervous system and you haven't done specifically what I'm about to teach you for your nervous system. Here's why this all matters. If your nervous system is stuck in a fight, flight, or freeze response, which most of ours are, so most of us are experiencing nervous system dysregulation in this day and age because, hello, look around us in our lives. Life is very stressful and our biology has not caught up with this sustained amount of stress day in and day out. So we're all subjected to this chronic stress, which is causing our nervous system to become dysregulated. So when our nervous system is stuck in a stress response, what happens is over time, that on switch being on causes a lot of detrimental impacts to our health and our body. Let me explain. So you will experience, if you're constantly stuck in the sympathetic response, so I have a little chart here that we'll go through together. If your body gets stuck in the fight response, the sympathetic activation of the nervous system, this is where we're going to experience things like very high cortisol levels. We're going to start to see our hormones become dysregulated. We have anxiety, we have chronic worry, we have a lot of issues with our body image. We see ourselves holding on to weight and not being able to lose it. We see impacts to our sleep, so having insomnia, not being able to go to sleep. And when the body has been stuck in this on switch for too long, we actually go into the dorsal vagal response, so the freeze response, which is the emergency shutdown branch of our nervous system. And that's where things unfortunately get a little bit worse, where again, we see impacts to our weight, we have insulin resistance, we have definitely dysregulated hormones that are affecting us in a deep way. We experience feelings of hopelessness, oftentimes depression, feeling like nothing is ever going to work for us, and we feel very despondent about all these issues in our life. And it seems to be that no matter how hard we try, nothing is working. So on top of all of that, this is why we also experience things like emotional eating, binge eating, overeating, even though we're not hungry, and finding it really difficult to just see results. And the thing is, when your nervous system is stuck in these states, no amount of changing your exercise or changing your diet is going to fix the root problem that your nervous system doesn't feel safe. So we need to fix the root cause of these issues, which is your nervous system, to be able to support your hormones to come back into balance and become regulated. And when we are experiencing a regulated nervous system, only then is our digestive system working properly. We are absorbing nutrients. Our metabolism is firing at a very healthy response level. Only then are our hormones regulated. Only then do we feel like we have a peaceful relationship with our body. Only then does our body feel safe enough to lose weight. That's a very important key point. So when you're obsessing over weight loss, and this is all you care about, your nervous system cannot be regulated because you are causing so much stress to your body. So I know that sounds counterintuitive, and trust me, I know, I get it. I was there too, where that felt really frustrating to accept. We need to help our nervous system to feel safe in order to support ourselves to see the results we're looking for with our body. So going to the gym more, training more, Eating less is certainly not going to get you the results that you're looking for when this is what's going on. And I can pretty much guarantee that if you're watching this video and you're relating to what I say and you have any of those symptoms that we've just discussed, that your nervous system is specifically crying out for help and needing safety. So what actually worked for me is taking care of my nervous system, stopping this obsession over weight loss, learning how to take care of my nervous system on a daily basis and build compounded safety and capacity within my nervous system. That's what allowed my hormones to regulate. That's what allowed my cortisol levels to rebalance. It wasn't supplements. It was actually learning how to take care of my nervous system. And only then can we start seeing results in the gym and our body feeling safe enough to lose weight. So that's number one. So just as a quick reminder, there is a full masterclass for you available that goes through the ins and outs of this and the exact techniques that will support you to regulate your nervous system. So obviously this isn't going to be an hour-long video, so the access for that is in the description below. Highly recommend that you get that. Number two, what I focused on is overcoming and reprogramming my limiting beliefs. And we're going to talk about exactly why this is so important. So many of us don't realize that our beliefs actually shape our physiology. Our beliefs impact our nervous system, they impact our emotions, they impact our hormones. When we are filled with limiting and negative beliefs about ourselves, specifically with our body image and our weight and our relationship to food, those keep us stuck and guarantee that we're not going to see results. And I'm going to give you a very clear scientific example of this. So Andrew Huberman on his podcast, specifically titled How to Burn Fat, references a study that Professor Alicia Crum does, okay, from Stanford University. So this is a peer-reviewed study. In this study, they took two groups of people working at the same place, and with one group, they actually worked specifically on their beliefs. So they helped to reinforce positive beliefs that they already had about themselves, how they exercise, etc. To the other group, they did nothing. So they've changed nothing in these two groups with their food or exercise. All they did was focusing on beliefs. So after 4 weeks, without any changes to their actual behavior or physical activity levels, and simply focusing on this reinforcement of beliefs training, the informed group, who now believed their work counted as exercise and contributed to their health, lost weight, reduced their body fat percentage by an average of 10%, had experienced significant reductions in systolic blood pressure, which is a key marker of cardiovascular health, and showed improvements in their BMI. The control group, who weren't told anything, did not focus on their beliefs, showed no significant changes in these markers. So this is amazing. All we did was we focused on beliefs specifically, and that group of people experienced a 10% shift in their body fat. That's crazy. That's nuts. And this shows and demonstrates the power of how our beliefs impact our physiology. So again, if you, like I was, are finding yourself riddled with all these limiting beliefs, like I can't be confident until I lose weight, nothing works for me, I can't lose weight no matter what I do, I'll never have my ideal body, I'll be unattractive and unworthy forever, those are the exact ingredients which are keeping you stuck, okay? So that's exactly what we need to be working on. When I changed my approach to focus on reprogramming those limiting beliefs about my body, I went from being a person who struggled my whole life with my weight, my body image, spent 20 years trying to figure out how to change it, and learning that actually shifting these beliefs made the biggest impact on not only my nervous system, but my relationship with my body, my actual weight, and all of the above. And again, in that full class that I have in the description for you, I take you through the exact evidence-based exercises to reprogram those beliefs that are keeping you stuck. So that's why you'll also want to get that. And even in this moment right here, right now, you can actually write down what are those top limiting beliefs that you know are keeping you stuck in your relationship with your body, food, and weight. Because that's your ticket. That tells you right there the very first step, the foundational step we need in order to move forward. Without awareness of what those beliefs are, they're still controlling your life and all of your actions. So maybe you want to pause the video, write down those limiting beliefs, and you can even share in the comments what some of them are for you. And a bonus is you can actually track on a scale of 1 to 10, how true do each of those limiting beliefs feel in this moment right now. So 10 out of 10, absolutely true. No one's going to convince me otherwise. 0, 1, like not at all. Don't believe them at all. Number 3, I canceled all dieting and restriction and food rules, okay? Big deal. The more restriction and food rules we have, the more you put your nervous system into a stressed state and a survival-based threat response. And we've already talked about in number 1 why that is such a bad idea. This is also why 95% of diets fail and why we can't stay on them, is because your body is not meant to be in a deficit for prolonged periods of time. It's just not. And so really understanding that you innately know how to have a healthy relationship with food, and that the diet industry and the weight loss industry all program you to think that you don't know how to do that and that you have to obsessively fixate over everything you eat, is exactly what's keeping you stuck. I dieted my whole life. You name a diet, I tried it. As I said to you before, I made my life's mission to lose weight. So you better believe I was the best student when it came to dieting, nutrition, all those things. Do you think that that really led to me having my ideal body? No. It made me obsessed with food, fixated on food, completely anxious about food, feeling out of control around food, worrying about what I was going to eat for dinner when I went out with friends, worrying about what I was going to do when I was on vacation with friends. It made my life completely miserable, like a living hell. And when I finally got that having peace with food was my ticket to having my dream relationship with my body, everything fell into place. I finally learned how to eat like a normal person, to have peace with food, to not have guilt over food, to not overanalyze what I was eating. And the irony is, when you have all these rules about food, you crave and want to eat everything that you're not supposed to eat on your list. But when everything is fair game, your body psychologically does not crave those things. It's wild. I used to struggle with binge and emotional eating as well because I was chronically restricting myself. And when I finally dropped those food rules, guess what? I learned how to have peace and not binge and emotionally eat. It's been 8 years since I've had a binge or emotional eating episode because I just learned how to have peace with food. And I know that might sound complicated for some of us, like, well, gosh, how do I even learn how to have peace with food when my whole life I've struggled with this? I totally get it. I know that that's a difficult concept to swallow, but I want you to start really reflecting on what are the foods that I tell myself are not good to eat, and how can I support myself to start feeling safe to eat those foods, because you need those foods. They're very important for your survival. And most of us are not eating nearly enough food, and we are stuck in a very unhealthy relationship with food where we keep thinking less is more, and the more I restrict, the better the results I'm going to get. And I can tell you with certainty that's exactly what's keeping you stuck. Your hormones cannot survive on you restricting yourself all the time. You are literally blocking your own weight loss by restricting yourself. And I get it. Again, that sounds counterintuitive, but that's the messaging that diet culture wants you to believe, is just keep restricting and you'll have your dream body. The minute I stopped restricting is the minute I actually had achieved my dream relationship with my body. So, hope that this is helpful. Again, there's a full class below to really take you through the ins and outs of exactly what I'm talking about in this video and walk you through the specific tools that I used in order to achieve this freedom and this ideal relationship with my body. So I'm excited for you to dive into that. I would love to know in the comments here, some of your limiting beliefs that you've noticed, and additionally, what your favorite tip here is in you having the dream relationship with your body.